umpobeye sinzi kubimera.
I wonder much with no answers.
Hari byinshi nibaza ariko ndabifitiye ibisubizo. Uwo ndiwe uyu munsi kubera wowe.
You've taught me to be strong even in the worst possible situations.
Wanigishije gukomera n'igihe bitari bishobotse.
You've taught me to be an overachiever.
Wanyigishije kuba umutsinzi.
You've taught me to be independent.
Wanyigishije kwirwanaho.
And all to make you proud.
Ibi byose ni ukugira ngo nkunezeze.
So here I am today, 18 years later.
Ndi hano imyaka 18 irangiye.
A successful, healthy young woman in college.
Umukobwa mukuru uri muri college kandi ufite ubuzima bwiza.
I am the person that chooses to smile and laugh each day.
Ndi umuntu wahisemo guseka no kumwenyura buri gihe.
I like to think there's a reason and there is a purpose behind my last name.
Ntura nibwira ko hariho impamvu ya last name ya cyangwa izina ryanje rya kabiri.
And that is furaha.
Ari ryo furaha.
So if you know me,
nimbunzi,
you know how much I love laughing.
Murabizi ukuntu nkunda guseka.
I've always told myself that no matter the hardships I go through,
nahoraga nibwira nkavuga nti byari byo byose ndi gucamo,
nothing can ever be as bad as Gatumba.
Nta kintu cambabaza kuko Gatumba yambabaje.
If I can survive that,
nimba nshobora kubirenga ibyo,
then I know with God's help I can survive anything.
Ndabizi ko hamwe n'ubufatanye bw'Imana ikintu cyacu cyose nzakinesha.
Without hardships,
hatariho ubuzima bugoye cyangwa ibibazo,
there is no growth, and without growth there is no hardships.
Nta gukura, kandi hatariho gukura nta buzima bugoye.
So to my fellow survivors,
so kubacika mu bagenzi banje,
and our community as a whole,
na community yacu yose,
not only do we mourn today,
ntabwo gusa turi mukiri uyu munsi cyangwa turi kwibuka,
but we mourn every day throughout the year.
Ariko turibuka umwaka wose.
We are one of many God's strongest soldiers.
Turi bamwe muri benshi b'abasirikare b'Imana.
So to everyone that is listening to me,
ku muntu wese uri kunyumva,
knowing that kuri umunyamulenge,
to know that you are umunyamulenge,
please be strong.
Komera.
There's more that God has a purpose for you.
Hari byinshi Imana igufitiye.
Because for those of us that survived that day,
kuko kuri benshi bacitse ku icumu wa munsi,
there's a purpose.
Hari impamvu.
Thank you guys so much.
Murakoze cyane.
Before I say my testimony, I'm just going to read something real quick.
Mbere yuko avuga ubuhamya bwiwe agiye gusoma ikintu.
"18 years has gone by since my life changed.
Nyuma y'imyaka 10 ubuzima bwiwe bwarahindutse. 18.
In just 2 hours. In just 2 hours.
Just amasaha 2.
August, you've come around again where I have to relive the worst day of my life.
Sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. No, the way you were.
Oh. August, you've come around again where I have to relive the worst day of my life.
Ukwezi k'umunani wagarutse kandi kugira ngo nibuke bibi byose byambayeho.
August, I've hated you since.
Ukwezi k'umunani narakwanze kuva kera.
And I'll continue hating you because you took my whole world away.
kandi nzahora nkwanga.
At only the age of 5, you'll think I wouldn't remember anything, but the sad reality is
Ku myaka 5 gusa wari uzi yuko ntazigera nibuka ikintu icyo ari cyo cyose,
I remember everything.
ariko ndabyibuka byose.
From seeing my own father killed in front of my eyes,
Kuba narabonye data umzara bamwica mu maso yanje,
to never saying bye to my own mother.
hamwe na mama wanje. Kandi kuba ntarasezeye mama wanje.
August, you took my uncle.
Kwezi k'umunani watwaye oncle wanje.
August, you took our people.
Kwezi k'umunani watwaye abantu bacu.
August, you made my brother and I an orphan in a world where we needed our parents the most.
Kwezi k'umunani watumye mba imfubyi nje na musaza wanje aho twari dukeneye ababyeyi bacu bombi.
August, you took my childhood.
Kandi watwaye ubwana bwanje bwose.
I didn't mention my name.
Ntabwo navuze izina ryanje.
My name is Aline Kamariza.
Nitwa Aline Kamariza.
In August 2004, I was only 5 years old.
Mu kwezi k'umunani 2004 nari mfite imyaka 5.
And as I was reading, I'm going to share a little bit about my testimony.
Ngiye kubabwira bike mu buhamya bwanje.
Anybody who knows me knows I don't like speaking at these things.
Abantu benshi banzi bazi ko ndakunda kuvuga igihe nkiki.
But this year, I decided to get up here
Ariko uyu mwaka nahisemo kuza hano
and tell my testimony.
kugira ngo mvuge ubuhamya bwanje.
I don't remember much of what happened
Sinibuka byinshi byabaye
before,
mbere,
but I have a vivid memory of everything else that took place during.
ariko inzi ibintu byose byabaye muri wa mwanya.
During that night,
Rya joro
I was with my parents, my brother, my sister, my cousin, and my grandma.
nari kumwe n'ababyeyi banje n'abo tuvukana na kaka.
And my little brother was only about a year old.
Musaza wanje muto yari afite nk'umwaka.
And then the little cousin was also a year old.
Kandi no na mubyara wanje yari afite nk'umwaka.
So that night, my little brother and my cousin went to go sleep in the same tent as my grandma.
Muri iryo joro musaza wanje na mubyara wanje bari bararanye na kaka.
And then I went to a separate tent with my mom, my dad, and me.
Ngenda naje nari ndyamye mu yindi tente jewe na papa na mama twari mu yindi shitingi.
As you guys have heard, when all this took place, we thought it was just a noise happening from far away. We didn't really know what it was.
Kuko mwese mubizi igihe byabaye twese twari ko twumva ari urusaku tutazi icari cyo ikibaye.
Until the noises started getting closer and we started to panic.
Kugeza aho urusaku rwatwegereye twese dutangira kugira ubwoba.
And as the night went by, the noises got louder.
Ijoro uko ryagendaga urusaku rwakomezaga ruba rwinshi.
And that's when it kicked in that we were being attacked.
Aho ngaho niho abantu benshi bibutse nti twatewe.
Anybody who knew my dad, he was a pastor, so of course we started to pray.
abantu benshi bazi papa yari umupasiteri. Yes, yahise atangira gusenga.
We prayed for a while, and even the people next to our tent came in our tent to pray, and then they went back.
Ya twatangiye gusenga n'abantu bari muri hema y'iruhande baraje n'abarasenga mare basubirayo.
Something seemed off about my mom, because my little brother.
Hari ikintu nabonaga kidasa neza kuri mama.
Because my little brother was in the other, he was all the way across the tent, so she was worried about him.
Nkuko musaza wanje muto yari mu yindi hema iri hirya, nabonaga mama afite ubwoba cyane ari kumutekereza.
So she suggested to my dad that she should go look for him.
Abwira papa njewe ndagiye ngiye kureba umwana.
Even though clearly you can hear the gunshots, they were so close.
Nubwo twumvaga amasasu atwegereye.
So my dad said, no, you can't go out there, you can't go out there. But knowing a mother, she went out there.
Papa aramubwira ntoya ntugende ntusohoke, ariko nkuko ari umubyeyi kandi afite imbabazi z'ububyeyi aranga arasohoka aragenda.
So my mom ran out there.
Mama aragenda.
And that was the last time I saw my mom.
Uwo niwo mwanya wa nyuma nabonye mama.
We knew we couldn't stop her, so she left.
Turabizi ko tutari kumuhagarika yaragiye.
So it was just me and my dad.
Sigarana na papa.
A little later,
hashize akanya gato,
you still hearing gunshots.
Tukomeza twumva amasasu.
Until two men walked in our tent.
Kugeza ubwo abagabo babiri binjiye mu ihema ryacu.
And they had guns.
Bari bafite imbunde.
I just want you guys to remember that.
Ndashaka ko mwibuka ko
that I was only 5 years old.
Ko nari mfite imyaka 5 gusa.
But I was seeing all this.
Ariko ibi byose narabibonye.
My dad stood right in front of me.
Papa
He was sitting right next, like protecting me.
Yari yicaye imbere yanje ari kunkingira.
With his arms out.
Amaboko ayarambuye.
So that nothing happens to me.
Kugira ngo ntihagire ikintu cyose kinkoraho.
The two men just stared for a while. I don't know what they were thinking about.
Abagabo babiri bahagaze aho ngaho umwanya muremure sinamenye ico bariko batekereza.
I don't remember what they said.
Sinibuka ibyo bavuze.
Then they started shooting.
Bahita batangira kurasa.
They shot my dad 3 times.
Barashe papa gatatu.
I think one went in his spine.
Andi akeka ko imwe bayimurashe mu mugongo.
One near his heart.
Iyindi mu mutima, urundi mu mutima.
And then another one went somewhere low on his body, because the same bullet that went through his lower body went on my leg too.
Urundi sinibuka aho rwagiye mu mubiri, ariko kuko urusasu rwamurashe mu mugongo niko naje rwandashe mu kuguru.
But I don't remember any of the pain at all.
Ariko sinibuka ubabare nari mfite ico gihe.
Because for a lot of us, when all this was happening, we weren't thinking about pain.
Nka benshi muri twebwe ubwigiye ibi bintu byabaga ntabwo twako dutekereza ku babare dufite.
We were in shock.
Kuko twari twikanze cyane.
After the men left,
abo bagabo bamaze kugenda,
and when they left, I stood there. I think I was there for like 10 minutes, just frozen.
baragiye nguma aho ngaho nk'iminota 10 gusa nicaye.
I didn't know what to do.
Sinari nzi ico gukora.
But the first couple minutes, you can kind of see my father slowly dying.
Ariko mu minota mikeya ntangira kubona papa umwuka umuvamo.
It's like he wanted to say something, but I don't really know what he wanted to say.
Kabona nkaho hari ikintu ashaka kumbwira ariko ntakivuge.
So I sat there watching my father die in my arms.
Naricaye aho ngaho ndeba ukuntu papa acikana mu maboko yanje.
Like I said, this took a while. I don't really know the times, but I know I was sitting there for 10 minutes just staring at him.
Nkuko nababwiye naricaye aho ngaho umwanya muremure sinibuka igihe nahamaze ariko narahicaye nk'iminota 10 ndi kumureba.
Because I didn't know what to do.
Kuko sinari nzi ico gukora.
So I just sat there.
Nagumye nicaye aho ngaho gusa.
A little while later,
Hashize umwanya muto.
you started to, like people mentioned, you started smelling some type of something was burning.
Ntangira kumva impumuro y'inkaho ikintu kiri kugusha.
But I just stayed there.
Ariko nkomeza nicaye aho
Because I
ngaho.
didn't want to leave him.
Kuko sinari nshaka gusiga papa.
So I stayed there while the tent was burning.
Narahicaye ihema iri gusha.
And it burned half of my left back.
Irasha mu gice cy'ibumoso cyose canje inyuma kirasha.
All this is happening, I'm not feeling any pain.
Ibyo byose ubwo byabaga nta bubabare na bumwe numvaga.
I was in shock. I didn't know what to do.
Gusa nari nikanze cyane ntazi ico gukora.
Some time went by and I finally decided to try to get out of there.
Umwanya muto ushize ntangira gutekereza ukuntu nakwivana aho hantu.
But I didn't know how, so if my whole arm was on fire, my leg was shot.
Ariko sinamenye ukuntu nohava kuko ukuboko kwari kwahiye ukuguru bakurashe.
All I can think about is a way of survive. I was thinking of a way I could get out of there alive.
Ariko ikintu natangiye gutekereza ukuntu nasohoka aho hantu ndi muzima.
So I crawled with my right leg.
Narakamze nkoresheje ukuguru kwanje kw'iburyo.
And crawled out of that tent.
Ndakamba kugeza nsohotse muri iyo hema.
And at some point on my journey out, I'll pretend to die because if you saw my body,
kuko kenshi na kenshi nsohoka muri iyo hema nariko ngerageza kwihwereresha kumera nk'uwapfuye.
Because if you saw my body that night, you'll think I was dead.
Kuko umuntu wese wari kubona umubiri wanje ako kanya wari kubona uko gusa ntagihari.
So I crawled out of there, and then all of a sudden, my mind just flashes out, and I don't know what happens next.
Narakamze nshaka gusohoka ariko hageze aho numva ntakiriko ntekereza.
And I ended up waking up in a hospital.
Nyuma yaho naje kubyuka nisanga mu bitaro.
And I don't know if anybody ever said this, but once you're in the hospital, all that pain just comes all at once.
Ariko sinzi nimba hari umuntu bizi iyo ugeze mu bitaro bwa buribwe bwose utumvishije urabwumva.
So I think that's about it. I just want to say a few things.
Ubwo nibwo buhamya bwanje ariko nshaka kuvuga ikintu kimwe.
This month is really, really hard for me.
Uku kwezi ni ukwezi gukomeye cyane kuri njewe.
Because it reminds me very, very bad things in my life.
Kuko kunyibutsa ibintu byinshi bibi mu buzima bwanje.
Brought a lot of traumatic things in my life.
ibintu byinshi byankanze,
But we are here today.
ariko turi hano uyu munsi.
And every day I thank God for being here.
Buri munsi nshimira Imana kuba ndi muzima,
Because my little brother has somebody to be there for him.
kuko musaza wanje afite nk'umuntu afite.
He didn't lose his whole family that night.
Musaza wanje ntabwo yatakaje umuryango wiwe wose iryo joro.
We are still here living
Turacahari kandi turi bazima.
living in our father and mother's footsteps.
Turahari ahangaha tugera ikirenge mu cyaba mama.
And yeah, that's it.
Iyo niyo nkuru yanje, murakoze. Muratwihanganira.
Hi, my name is Sarah. For you guys who don't know me,
Ku bantu batanzi nitwa Sarah.
I'm just gonna tell you a little about my story today.
Ngiye kubabwira ku inkuru yanje uyu munsi.
When all this happened, I was a few months born.
Igihe ibi ngibi byabaye nari umwana w'amezi.
Basically, I don't know that much, but I'm gonna tell you guys what I know so far.
Nta kintu nibuka cyabaye, ariko ngiye kubabwira ku byo nzi.
I was born in Uvira.
Navukiye Buvira.
We moved from Uvira to Gatumba
Tuva Buvira tuja Gatumba
because of another war.
kubera intambara.
On the night of August 13,
mu kwezi k'umunani tariki 13
I was with my mom, my dad, and my two sisters.
nari kumwe na mama na papa n'abakuru banje babiri,
In one tent.
turi muri hema imwe.
That night, my mom got shot and my dad.
Muri iryo joro papa na mama barabarashe.
My mom got shot while I was sleeping next to her.
Mama bamurashe ndyamye iruhande rwe
When I was breastfeeding her,
ubwo nariko mwonka.
I breastfeed her blood and everything in her body.
Naramwonse kugeza aho nonka n'amaraso yiwe.
Growing up, it affected me because I had to go to the hospital because of that.
Ku gukura kwanje byangizeho ingaruka nini kubera ibyo mbese kubera amashereka nonse cyangwa ibyo nonse uwo munsi.
My mom was the first one to die.
Mama niwe wapfuye wa mbere muri iryo joro.
She got shot, the bullet went through her and got my sister named Mukobwa.
Mama baramurashe, urusasu rwamuciyemo rwahise ruja no muri mukuru wanje.
But I didn't get shot.
Ariko nje ntabwo narashwe.
But everybody else in the room did.
Abantu bose muri ico cumba bararashwe.
My mom was shot and half burned.
Mama baramurashe kandi baramutwitse igice kimwe.
And my sister, older sister named Kobga, she got shot and burned.
Na mukuru wanje witwa Kobwa baramurashe kandi baranamutwika.
My dad got shot, but he didn't die right away. He got shot on his leg.
Papa nawe baramurashe ariko ntiyahise apfa uwo munsi, bamurashe ku kuguru.
So the only people that were still alive was me and my big sister named Mado. Most of you guys might know.
Abantu babiri bari basigaye yari njewe na mukuru wanje Mado.
even though she got shot, but she got hurt, but she doesn't know. Like she couldn't feel the pain at that moment.
Nubwo bari bamurashe iryo joro ntabwo yumvaga uburibwe muri ako kanya.
My aunt came and tried to save us because she was sleeping in another tent.
Shangazi wanje yaraje ashaka kuturokora kuko ari mu yindi hema yo hirya.
And she came and grabbed me and put me on her back.
Araza aramfata nshira ku mugongo.
And my dad told her my sister is still alive as well.
Papa aramubwira nti na mukuru we waracari muzima.
For us to get off the tent to run away,
ukuntu twavuye mu ihema twiruka tuja hanze,
we had to sleep on dead bodies for us to pass.
Twariko dusimba intumbi z'abantu kugira ngo turengane.
It hurts me the fact that growing up at this age without parents,
birambabaza gukura muri iki gihe cyangwa kugeza muri iyi myaka ndafite ababyeyi. Muratwihanganira.
Mwihanganire biragoye.
Please take heart, it's so hard.
Ngize imyaka 18 nja mu buri cunamo cyose ariko umunsi wangoye kuruta iminsi yose.
It has been 18 years since I started coming in this commemoration, but today is the hardest day.
Mumbabarire ntabwo nari kuri gahunda ariko reka nkomeze bana abantu bari hano ariko mfite ijambo ryo kugaya abantu bamwe gutya kandi ndabivuga nari navuze ngo ndabireka ariko ndabivuga.
Bisobanure. I was not on the schedule, but I feel like I want to say something.
Ngira ngo muri kubona ko ari abana gusa bari hano. Abana bari hano aba bose ndaho wari urengeje imyaka 10.
I think you can tell it's only young people that are here, and when they were at that time they were not young enough, they were not old enough.
Kandi ababyeyi bose ntibapfuye barahari bari mu state yabo baricaye.
And most of the parents are alive and are just sitting in their houses.
So nicaye hano ntekereza umwana wavuze mbere umwana wa marehemu muhimuzi.
When I was standing there, I thought about the young lady that started to speak.
Ntekereza ukuntu abantu bari mu state yabo umwana wa muhimuzi wari ufite imyaka 2 akaba ari uhagaze hano yavuga ubuhamya bwiwe.
I thought about how this the girl that was 2 years old is the one that is speaking right now, but the people that were old enough at that time, they're just sitting in the state and just being comfortable.
N'imiryango yabo bicaye mu mazu.
In their families.
Ndatekereza uriya papa haguruka Papa America.
I think Papa America.
Ndatekereza ko ari umugabo mukuru wenyine uri hano ashobora kuba yageze isoni zo kuza guhagarara hano kubona sindababona. Yes, urakoze mzee.
There's other men, but I don't know why they were not brave enough to come here.
Okay. So ndashaka kubatuma mwembi.
I want to send you.
Mugenda mubwire abagabo bakuru bacitse ku icumu Gatumba yuko bahemutse.
Go tell the old men that were there that this is not fair.
Si irya mbere si irya kabiri buri mwaka iyo tugiye mu cunamo dusanga hari abana.
It's not the very first time or the second time, but every time when we come together like this, it's only young people.
So hano hari abana ba muhimuzi, hari abana ba gasosi, hari abana ba pastor tekereza, hari abana ba muhorana nababonye hano.
We have kids that lost their parents on that day, up here today.
So kuba mwaracitse kwicumu nk'abavyeyi ariko mugahitamo kutazaza mwitabira icunamo ngo aba bana bapfushira abavyeyi ari bo bazaza baza biragahitse.
For you to survive that night, but you just chose not to come today to comfort these kids here, I don't think it's fair.
So reka wenda ndeke kuzimura ariko ubwo mwumvishije muri abagabo.
Let me not say much, but I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying.
So irya kabiri reka nshimire bano bana bari hano bano basore bose.
But second, let me thank all these young ladies and gentlemen who are up
So
here.
umwana wahagarike Kamariza ndatekereza ko ntacunamo na kimwe arasiba imyaka 18.
The girl who just led this, she has been on this event every year.
Yeah. So umusore wese utazi n'ibyabaye mu Gatumba wari ufite amezi abiri ariko wumva yuko ari umutwaro rwose ndamushimiye.
A very young lady or gentleman who feel like it is a burden for them to come to this event every year, even though you don't remember anything, I really thank you.
Yeah. So mwumvishije izo bavuze tugeze icumweru dutanga ubuhamya ku online.
You heard what they said, and it has been the whole week as giving testimonies online.
Hari amajambo menshi nakuyemwo, hari umusore wavuze ngo twari dufite ikimwaro twaza tugira isoni kuvuga ngo umwana w'imyaka 8 ahumurize mugenzi we w'indi myaka 10 w'inshuti yiwe amubwire ngo komera. Abavyeyi biwe baryamye hari yababishe, inshuti zabo ziryamye hari yazabishe.
I heard a lot of testimonies, but this is some few things that I gained out of those testimonies. There were young people that were saying that it was so hard or it was shameful for me to tell my brother or my friend, be comforted when you see your parents laying down dying.
Hari umuntu wabivuze ndibuka waza ureba mugenzi wawe ukabura ico umubwira ukagira nk'isoni ugasa nkaho ari we wamwiciye.
I remember when somebody mentioned this, I remember that when on that day you will see your friend and you will feel ashamed of telling them to take heart because it feels like you are the one that caused what happened.
Yeah. So uyu mwana yavuze se afite imyaka 2 twageze no imico irahinduka haba ibintu ngo ni Father's Day. Abandi baza bapostinga base buri Father's Day amafoto atandukanye ariko twebwe twabuze abavyeyi bacu. Hariho benshi batagira n'amafoto uposting ifoto imwe undi mwaka ni yayindi undi mwaka ni yayindi tekereza ico kintu ariko abandi barahindura buri mwaka buri kwezi.
And again, remember, when we got here, there's this celebration that they do Father's Day, when every kid posted their parent, but it's hard for us who lost our father on that day to see us posting same pictures every year. And some of us doesn't even have pictures of their parents or their father. Because the picture were born or were burnt over there or lost.
Yes, umbabare ko mpantwara umwanya sinzi yuko hari indi gahunda ihari ariko njyewe nacitse ku 10 mu Gatumba nari ncitse ku 10 Kalemi.
I am a survivor in Gatumba and I was a survivor in Kalemi.
Ariko mu Gatumba niho naburiye abantu bose. Kalemi nta bantu benshi hahaguye twarahunze gusa.
In Kalemi we didn't lost a lot of people, but in Gatumba we lost a lot of people.
Yeah. Ryari ijoro ku basore bari hano, ryari ijoro ngiri tuvuye mu kabumbu twanezerewe cari igipindi natwe twari dufite game uwo munsi.
It was a night just like tonight, after games, after soccer game and other activities that we were doing that night.
So twese turataha mu masaha 2 nyuma y'iyo game abantu 166 baba baguye aho ngaho.
We all went home after the activities, and after 2 hours, 166 people died that same night.
So reka nsubiza abantu bari bafite gahunda rwose ndeke kubicira.
Let me give the program to those.
Kandi nakwifuza ko aba bantu nibasubira hano abari hano twese duhaguruke uhobera umuntu mubwire ngo komera.
I want you, whenever these people comes back, please stand up and hug at least one person and tell them to be comforted.
Muraho.
Greetings.
Abinjira bagende binjira gahoro ntago turi butinde ndango nigiye umuntu wa nyuma uri buze kuvuga.
I think I'm the last person that is going to speak.
Ntago ariko abantu bose baba bumva bafite izo mbaraga zo guhagarara hano ngo bavuge.
It's not that everybody is brave enough to stand up here and give testimony.
Mwaka ushize nanjye nibwo bwari ubwa mbere bwanjye kure ikintu mbese ibyambayeho.
Last year was my first year to give testimony of what happened to me.
Suko ntabishakaga.
It's not that I didn't want to give my testimonies.
Ariko nyine hari ingaruka, hari igihe bitugiraho ingaruka nyuma yo kuvuga ibyo waciyemo.
Sometimes it impacted us after you speak about what happened to you.
Nanjye ndumwe mu bantu barashwe nabi mu Gatumba.
I am among the people that got shot or wounded in Gatumba.
Nkuko babivuze bararashe.
As they said, the gunshot was, we heard gunshots.
Papa yari muri ba bantu b'abagabo bajyaga gutorera hanze cyangwa se gutarama hanze.
My dad was among those parents or father that used to go gather with other men outside.
Baragarutse bamaze kugaruka ataranaryama nibwo bateye isasu rya mbere.
And when my dad came back, before even he went to bed, that's when we heard the first gunshot.
Nuko isasu rya kabiri niryo ryarashe umukecuru twari turi kumwe witwa twamwitaga kaka ariko ni nyina wa Kagigi.
And the second gunshot that I heard is the shotgun that killed one of the elder lady that we used to live with, that we used to call grandma.
Ndatinze umuntu wa mbere barashe yari mukuru wanje Nyasezerano.
The first person that they shot was my sister Nyasezerano.
Umuntu wa kabiri ni mama barashe.
The second person was my mom. She got shot.
Nje umuntu wa gatatu barashe mwacu.
And I was the third person in my family that got shot.
Hari ukuntu twarimo twihisha mugafata ibikapo by'imyenda mukabikingiriza.
There was a way that we were protecting ourselves. We grab our suitcases and cover or try to protect ourselves.
Noneho mukaryama hasi.
We lay down and bring a suitcase and just put right next to you to protect you.
Urusasu rwandashe ni nkaho barurashe hejuru ruca mu giti niko rwandashe.
I think the shotgun that wounded me, it came from top and then it shot me mukuguru.
Mumbavu.
And on my ribs. Thank you.
Hari ukuntu iyo urusasu rwaciye ku giti nyine rukobokaho nico cyatumye numva nk'ibuye ryari rinini rikubise ku mubiri.
I felt like it was like a stone that just landed on me.
Aho ngaho niho nahise numva imbaraga kubera ukuntu ryari rimereye ryari rishushe n'ukuntu nari ndyamye nahise numva imbaraga zicitse mu mubiri.
At that time I felt like I was powerless and weak.
Haciye umwanya mutoya turagera mama bari bamurashe gatatu kuguru kumwe ntago yabashaga gutambuka.
After a few minutes we realized that my mom got a shotgun 3 times on her leg and she was not able to stand up.
Nihuse gatoya turagerageza turahaguruka tugenda guca ihema inyuma.
And let me go a little bit faster. We stood up and we cut the tent for us to go out.
Ukugenda usohoka ni kubona imirambo y'abana ba Gaturuturu yabamuze y'abandi bapapa bari barashwe ba Ntoni.
As we were walking going outside, we were going jumping after body to a body. You see people that you know on your way going out.
Turangije tugerageza nyine gusohoka turasohoka.
And then we stepped outside.
Tumaze gusohoka twaciye hari ukuntu mujya mu byatsi duhura n'indi nimba ari intera hamwe nimba ari undi muntu wari ugiye gutega abantu mu bishanga.
And we met somebody that was, I think was somebody that was going to meet other people next to the tent where we were living.
haciye umwanya mutoya duhita tugera ku muhanda nibwo twahuye n'imodoka y'abapolisi baje gutabara.
And then after a few minutes, we were walking, we were all the way to the street. That's where we met the police car that was coming and collecting people that were wounded.
Ndateze tugeze kwa muganga niho baje gusanga abantu benshi bakomeretse, ni naho brother wa marehemu mama Ngendo yari afite umuhungu we wari wahiye ararokoka, bamuzanye kwa muganga niho yacika.
And then they took us to the hospital where we met a lot of people. We saw Mama Ngendo's son who came burnt everywhere, and then but he was not dead yet. But when they brought him to the hospital, that's where he died.
Ntabwo ndi butinde nyuma yaho niho bafasha abantu barashwe cyane cyangwa se bakomeretse cyane nibo batwaye kwa muganga muri mu Bujumbura.
And then after that they took people that were very wounded or were wounded hard, they took them in the hospital.
Ako turashima Imana ko twarokotse kandi turi bazima dukomeye.
We thank God that we survived that day and we are well and healthy today.
Kandi dusaba abantu bose suko twebwe turabarescapa ariyo mpamvu dukunda kuza kwitaba.
We will encourage everybody. It's not that it's because we are the survivors. That is not why we came here every year.
Nuko abantu bacu nubwo nge ntapfushije umuntu ariko Kamariza yapfushije abantu.
But it is because I have a friend, even though I didn't lose my loved one, but I have a friend who lost a loved one.
Kandi twese turi bamwe tugomba gufatana.
We are all one, we have to support one another.
You don't have to. Murakoze cyane. Ndagira ngo hari umuntu wansabye kuvuga, ndaguheza iminota kubera ko amasaha yagiye kandi hari izindi gahunda dufite inyuma. Ndaguheza iminota nk'itatu ugira icyo uvuga bagihagaze hano kugira ngo mwese mujyanane.
Murakoze cyane.
Thank you so much.
Uyu mwanya ni umwanya ugoye cyane kuvugaho nje nibwo bwa mbere ngiye kuvuga ibi bintu.
This is a hard time and this is my first time to say to speak.
Ntabwo umuntu aba abuze uzavuga ariko uzutekereza ukumva igihe kitaragera.
It's not that we don't have things to say, but we always think that it's not time for me to speak yet.
Ariko ndashima Imana kuko nyine umwanya ugeze.
But I thank God that today is my day to speak as well.
Mugatumba nabuzeyo mama na murumuna wanje.
In Gatumba, I lost my mother and my younger sister.
Ndakomereka na murumuna wanje na musaza wanje.
I myself was wounded, my sister was wounded, and my brother was wounded.
Umunsi batera Mugatumba twari dufite inama y'ikorari hanze na pasiteri Kinyamahanga.
I remember that night when it happened, we had a choir meeting with Pastor Kinyamahanga.
Kubera ko twari dufite sorti ku cyumweru nyine kiza.
Because we had a conference coming that same week on Sunday.
Tumaze gukora iyo nama.
And when after the meeting,
tumaze gutegura ibintu byose uko biri bugende
after preparing everything how the conference is going to go,
turagenda turaryama.
We went and sleep.
Tugishika mu mazu niho twumvishije amasasu.
When we got in our tent, that's when we start hearing the gunshots.
Bararasa cyane.
The gunshot was going on for so long.
Kubera ko hari igihe bazaga kwiba inka bakarasa n'ubundi kuko bisanzwe.
Because we are used to gunshots for them when they come to steal cows around the tents.
Ariko umunsi amasasu amenshi cyane.
But that night gunshots were different from what we used to hear.
Twari kumwe na sokuru Minyati.
I was with my grandpa Minyati.
Aravuga ngo reka soke yumve icabaye.
And he said, let me go outside and see what is going on.
Ubwo yarasoste bahita bamurasa.
He went outside to look what is going on and he got shot and he died.
Sokuru amaze gupfa hasoka abahungu be babiri.
And two of his sons went out as well. They shoot them as well and they died immediately. And those they were just coming from Kalemi surviving another war.
nuko baraguma bararasa cyane bararasa.
And the gunshots keep going.
Aho turyamye mama yariruhukije gusa aravuga ngo ash.
Where we were sleeping, I heard my mother said, "Ash."
Takindi yasuye kuvuga bahita bamurasa arapfa.
She didn't say any other word, and she was gone.
Musaza wanje umuryamye nyine mu rubavu.
And my brother that was sleeping right next to her,
bahita bamurasa ukuguru.
they shot him on the leg.
Boya nawe bahita bamurasa amaso n'umutwe guke.
And Beya, they shot her on the eyes and the head.
None kubera byari bimeze nabi cyane ntawazuguma hamwe twese twaba tuguma kwiruka uzunguruka ucaho ugaruka.
Because it was so loud, everybody was running up and down.
Ninjira muri shitingi yari rimwe mama Nyashemutsi.
I went in the next tent where Mama Nyashemutsi was.
Ubwo ngo nshike gutya.
When I got there,
haruguru mu iyindi side yari nyine kindi gice cyo haruguru numva barashe abo kwa Nyamusore.
On the other side of the tent, I heard that they said that Nyamusore's family has been shot.
Umugabo n'abana bane n'umugore.
A husband and a wife and 4 kids.
Ubwo tugumye aho ngaho.
We still there.
Bamwe biruka bagaruka ni muri shitingi gusa hanze batwitse amatara karaka cyane.
People were running up and down, and there were fire next to the tents.
Noneho numva naje ndaremereye umugongo.
And I heard that my back is getting heavier.
Ndabwira sinzi uko mbaye sinzi nimba bandashe kubera ntabwo umuntu yarazi by'amasasu.
And then I said, I don't know what is happening. I don't know if they shot me on my back.
Nanigwa kuvaho narindi ndaguma ndapfukama ko nari imeze nyine muri iyo position.
I couldn't move. I stayed in that same position.
Yarongaho.
I stayed there.
Mukanya gatoya.
After a few minutes,
abantu baza batwica barinjira.
People that were killing us came inside.
Baraza turahagararana kuko turi kumwe na Nyamukesh.
They were just standing there just like how I'm standing here with Nyamukesh.
Barambwira ngo ninzana amafaranga.
And they said, give us money.
Ndababwira ati nimba amafaranga mwari mukeneye mwari kuyadusaba ku mahoro.
And then I said, if you wanted the money, you could have asked in peace.
Afata imbunda randasa kandi.
And then he shot me again.
Ngo ndase akaba ngo yarasigaranye urusasu rumwe niko yabwiye mugenzi wiwe.
And he told his friend that this is my last bullet.
No ubwo rusasu ruhita rufata shitingi inyuma.
And the bullet just touched the tent.
Batora amasakoshi baravuga tereka uyu nguyu nta kigiye kera twamuvunya amaguru turagaruka tumwice tumurangiza. Bazavuga Kirundi.
They were speaking in Kirundi, and they said that this one is not gonna survive. Let's just take things and go.
Nuko barasohokanya amasakoshi yacu yararimo amahuzu yose aho ngaho.
They took our clothes and our suitcases and they left.
Bamaze gusohoka.
After they left,
sinzi ukuntu nyina Chantal yarebye muri shitingi abona kantu kakobo kariho gutya isa niyashanyutse gatoya.
And Chantal's mom saw like the tent was teared.
Arafata arayishanyura yose
And he
irika.
tear it big so we can go out.
Ubwo nje sinari kubasha guhaguruka ndavuga ati muransize baze banjane.
And then I told them, I was like, now you're leaving me so they can come and take me.
Ndashimira mama Chantal cyane.
I really thank Mama Chantal.
Ubwo ngubwo aba bana bose nari nabasize ndazi naho bari izi ngo bose bapfuye.
At that time I didn't know where my siblings were. I thought they were dead.
Bahita baza mama Chantal aramfatara na Chantal umwe anshiga hano undi hano.
Chantal and her mom, they come and grab me, one hold on this hand and the one on the other hand.
Turasoka twinjira mu ishamba riraho hirya turihisha.
And we went in the forest that was right next to the tent.
Ubwo nahise nta ubwenge aho ngaho.
At that time I didn't know what was happening.
Kubera nari navuye amaraso menshi cyane bari bandashe mu
because I bleeded a lot.
Hanyuma tumaze nta bundi ubwenge namenye naje kumenya ubwenge turi mu bitaro.
I didn't know what was going on until I was in the hospital.
Namaze ku gitanda amezi 3 ndahindukira.
I stayed in one position on the bed for 3 months without moving or changing positions.
Amezi 3 ashire batangira kungendesha nk'uruhinja.
After 3 months they start to train me to walk.
Aho ndi bakambwira ngo Bea yapfuye.
And some will tell me Bea has passed away.
Aho ndi bakambwira ngo mbese bagahita bambikira Beya ko yapfuye.
And people will keep telling me that Beya passed away.
Ariko ndashima Imana ko twese turiho abakomeretse.
But I thank God that everybody that was wounded are alive now.
Abantu bose barokotse Gatumba Nyamukesha twari kumwe mu bitaro.
Survivors like Nyamukesha was with her in the hospital.
Ibitaro twarimwo batangira kuduhiga kandi.
In the hospital where we were, they came and found us again so they can kill us.
Iryo joro baraza abatwishe baza kureba abantu bashize muri ivyo bitaro.
That same night or the different night they came in that hospital to look for the survivors.
Baradufata abaganga bwihishwa baratuzamura badushana kwa David.
And the doctors or nurses, they took us secretly and they took us in the van and they took us to David Hospital.
Ndashima Imana ku bantu bose barokotse.
I thank God for everybody that survived.
Kandi Imana yaradukomeje.
God has encouraged us, comforted us. God has healed us.
Ubu turi abantu bakomeye kandi turi abantu bafite ingo bafite abana.
Now we are most of us are married and they have kids and they are very strong and powerful people.
Iki kintu mugeza agaciro cyane cyo kwibuka abantu bacu bapfuye.
Please value this moment of remembering those that passed away.
Kuko Eme yavuze,
just like how Eme said,
biteye isoni cyane kubona abana aribo babaza kuvuga ibi bintu bari bafite amezi.
It is kind of embarrassed to see just kids who were months old or years old to come here and testify of what happened.
Hariho abagabo hariho abagore barokotse.
When there are men and women who survived that night.
Twisubizemo imbaraga.
Please take heart.
Kandi turabatsinzi.
We are conquerors.
Imana yaradukijije.
God has healed us.
Imana ishimwe.
Praise the Lord.
Ntago sindi kumenya impamvu abantu bahagaze hariya. Ntago sinzi imyanya yabaye mikeya kubera iki abantu bari guteza akavuya inyuma. Mubwira abantu binjire tugiye gukora igikorwa cyo guha abantu bacu twabuze agaciro. Please ntago tubikora muhagaze aho ngaho ni mwinjire. Imyanya irahari iruzuye sinzi impamvu abantu bari guhagarara hanze nawe. Kandi dutuze please tubashe gutahura ibihe turimo ntago hari ahantu ho gusakuza. Murakoze ku bavuye kuduha ubuhamya hano. Ndagira ngo nongere mbihanganishe. Nta majambo ngewe mfite navuga abakomeza cyangwa se abahumuriza. Hari aho biza bigera no kubwira umuntu ngo I'm sorry ukumva iri useless, ukumva ntacyo ifite gukora ku mutima w'umuntu ubabaye. Mwihangane kandi mukomere ni icyo ngicyo nobabwira. Hari ijambo SP yavuze muri aya masession twari tugize iminsi tujyamo, aravuga ngo nuzaje ubona survivor ngo you don't have to say anything, uzaza umuhobera gusa. Natwe icyo kiroroshe n'icyo umuntu yakora. Be there for each other. Muzaza mubahobera kubera aba bantu bahuye n'ibintu umuntu atabasha kuvuga ngo abisobanure. Tugeze mu mwanya wo guha icyubahiro abantu bacu 166 biciwe mu Gatumba muri ririya joro. Ndagira ngo abantu bafite gusoma amazina mutambuke hano.
Ya tugiye kuvuga amazina y'abantu 66 twabuze rira joro ryo mu Gatumba. Ya nkuko nari mbivuze ni gusoma amazina yabo twabuze hariya mu Gatumba, ariko mbere yuko tuyasoma ndasaba ngo umuntu wese uri hano ahaguruke mu byubahiro byanyu. Murakoze, mureke dutuze kugira ngo twumvikane. Turatangira famille Pasteur Minyati, hariho Pasteur Faustin Minyati, Kadafi Minyati, Merewe Neza Minyati, Nyanome Minyati. Famille Pasteur Rutekereza, hariho Jacques Rutekereza, Mushambara Rutekereza, Igira Neza Rutekereza, Nyamasoso Rutekereza, Ndatabaye Rutekereza, Nyazahabu Rutekereza, Nyamuryango Rutekereza. Famille Gasosi, hariho Eraste Gasosi, hariho Perusi Gasosi, Nyahumure Gasosi, Bahoza Gasosi na Debora Gasosi. Famille ya Karaha, hariho Nyamusore Karaha, Debora Nyamusore, Harutwa Nyamusore, Kayanga Nyamusore, Ngezayo Nyamusore na Bebe Nyamusore. Famille Rukamirwa, hariho Oze Rukamirwa, Bisetsa Rukamirwa na Mariasi Rukamirwa. Famille Hayizur, hariho Fille Hayizur, Felix Hayizur. Famille ya Shemu, hariho Marisiana Shemu, Esperance Shem, Jeremy Shem. Famille ya Shoni, hariho Masigabo na Shon, Nyakazi Shon, Musa Shon na Amani Shon. Famille Kasa, hariho Nyahoza Kasa, Ziraje Kasa, Jeannette Kasa, Yvonne Kasa na Bebe Kasa. Famille Minyati, hariho Thomas Minyati, Eric Minyati na Dudu Bitari. Sorry, ni Bitari. Famille Zaroti, hariho Zaroti, Nyahoza, hariho na Bebe Zaroti. Famille Kanyabitabo, hariho Odia Kanyabitabo na Neza Kanyabitabo. Famille Musafiri, hariho Chantal Musafiri, Nyamugisha Musafiri na Patience Musafiri. Famille Gapinga, hariho Nyabihogo Gapinga, Claude Gapinga na Gisele Gapinga. Famille Musafiri, hariho Lydia Musafiri na Blaise Musafiri. Famille ya Mandevu, hariho Lea Mandevu, Muhorana Mandevu. Famille Butoto Sema Jambi, hariho Cheche Butoto, Fisto Butoto, Mupenzi Butoto. Famille Muhire, hariho Munezero Muhire na Nyabyinshi Muhire. Famille Mukwiye, hariho Uzia Gashindi Mukwiye, Dando Mukwiye, Lucy Mukwiye na Daniel Mukwiye. Famille Gaturuturu, hariho Zera Gaturuturu na Tantine Gaturuturu. Famille Mugabe Yohana, hariho Nyabahiga Mugabe, Nyabirori Mugabe, Fille Mugabe na Bea Mugabe. Famille Rukungugu, hariho Claude Nzabakiza Rukungugu, hariho Nyagazura Rukungugu na Muhuza Felix Rukungugu. Famille Sebahire, hariho Murekatete Sebahire, Patrick Sebahire, Kadada Sebahire. Famille Munyegeza, hariho Nyarukundo Munyegeza, Rusengo Munyegeza na Musore Munyegeza. Murakoze.
Famille Maniragaba, Ndayisenga Maniragaba, Ange Maniragaba. Famille Ntwari, Pauline Ntwari, Jeanne Ntwari. Famille Gishoma, Askofu Gishoma, Kunda Gishoma. Famille Biguge, Rumanzi Fabien Biguge, Inonsa Biguge, Didier Biguge. Famille Runezerwa, Mukarugwiza Runezerwa, Bose Runezerwa, Biju Runezerwa. Famille Muvange, Muvange Simo, Munezero Muvange, Edouard Muvange. Famille Maronko Kagigi, Zera Maronko, Nyambo Maronko, Jeanne Maronko, Shasta Kagigi Maronko. Famille Serugarukira Antoine, Nabitanga Serugarukira, Nyantebuka Serugarukira. Famille Runagana, Manase Runagana, Catherine Runagana, Mukobwa Runagana. Famille Gasungunu, Tonia Gasungunu, David Gasungunu. Famille Ngakaji, Ignace Ngakaji, Emmanuel Ngakaji, Daniel Ngakaji. Famille Kalala, Nakiza Nezia Kalala, Ngwabi Kalala. Famille Ngirabakunzi, Nyagakobwa Ngirabakunzi, Bebe Ngirabakunzi.
Maze kumva amazina y'amafamiye liste nje mfite ni abantu donc bagiye bapfa ku giti cyabo muri hanganira amazina ne tutavuga neza natangira kuri famille yanje prononciation harabata bivuga neza ariko nje famille ni ya Muyengeza hariho mama Nyarukundo Muyengeza Musore na Claude Muyengeza so nanjye ngiye kuvuga amazina muri hangana nitavuga neza. So hariho Banana Gasore, hakabaho Nyamubyeyi Gafita, hariho Ndayishimiye Muzuri, hariho Mambo Kazingo, hariho Revera Pasteur André Ndakanirwa, Kazingo Bizimana, hariho Bikwerere Rusekeza, hariho Niyitanga Semugazanya, hariho Abwe Lulinda, hariho Asukulu Bokeo, hakabaho Echa Mbelechi, hariho Lukele wa Lukele, hariho Angalisho Mambo, hariho Evariste Sumali, hariho Asumbelo wa Sumbelo.
These are the child victims that we lost. Mukobwa Munyakuri, Nyamunezero Zuzi, Kajei Ruganza, Nyangore Rugabo, Sifa Maria, Michael Nzungi, Afande Binyonyo, Chisekedi Rwige Muhoza, Dasarara Mugiraneza, Espoir Rwibagiza, Niyonkuru Sekabumba, Delphine Byamunea, Regine Batumbuka, Leon Ayochi, Sadi Nyampamba, Bahati Nyampamba.
N'abakobwa bagiye bapfa umwe mu muryango. Murora Rugeza, Odia Ndagiro, Mado Gahakanyi, Nyamatungo Seruhungu, Gombe Rushemuka, Nyantonesha, Zikama Nkwere Musore, Jeannette Kiza, na Mirenge Ndalo, Nyakirindo Ruhumuriza.
Abantu bari ku buhanga bw'ibyuma mutuzimiriza aya matara yose please. Muyazimye yose nimba byakunda murakoze. izi candles twakije ni 166 zipresentinga ubuzima bw'umuntu wese mu Gatumba ririya joro. Tugiye gufata umwanya, please ntimuvuge. Tugiye gufata umwanya buri muntu wese yibuke waba ufite abo waruzi kuri uriya muri ririya joro basize ubuzima hari ahantu, baba hari abo utazi, waba ufite umuryango, please mureke dufate umwanya twibuke ubu buzima, kandi mureke aya matara twakije, izi kando twakije zituzanire hope mu buzima, zitugarurire icyizere cy'uko justice is coming. Murakoze. Murakoze, mureke gukubita, musubire mu byicaro byanyu, mureke gukubita amashyi, ntimwongere gukubita amashyi please. Nimwatsa amatara muzimye n'utwo tuntu baratwara. Umutuzo please, umutuzo. Murakoze. Simpamenye impamvu abantu bari gusohoka hanze. Ni iki kiri hanze? Muzajya mugerageza kumenya ibihe mwajemo, muzaza muza hano ngo mujye gukorera inama hanze kandi hari ibyabazanye hano. Please ubaha ahantu muri. Ndagira ngo niyegereze Kiyobe, sinzi nimba ari hafi. Mwihangane ntiturarenza amasaha, turasa n'abari ku musozo. Abantu mubasha gutuza kugira ngo mwumve ibigiye kuvugwa hano please.
First and foremost, I would like to greet you all. We would like to take this moment to offer our condolences to the family of the 166 innocent men, women, and children that were unjustly taken away from us and Abanyamulenge community as a whole. Before we proceed, I will request everyone stand up for a moment of silence and remember our loved ones. You may be seated. So ndavuga mu Cyongereza, Queen ibyo mvuga byose mu Cyongereza aramabisubiramo. So good translating kugira tidutashe umwanya aramabisubiramo mu Cyongereza. We would like to take this moment and thank everyone that have traveled here today and those that are streaming the service right now. As a survivor, that means a lot to me that your presence is here. Secondly, we would like to thank the GSRF committee for trusting us with Friday night programming. If I may ask anyone with the white shirt that's helping, can they please come up here? Bakamariza Museum. The ladies you see on the stage volunteer to create this space to honor survivors as well as the victims. If you would like to volunteer next time or next year, you can talk to any of these ladies up here or myself, and we'll be glad to help you be able to help us as well. Since 1964, Abanyamulenge people have been targeted and killed. This year will mark 58 years of systematic and target killing of people. As we all know, the month of August is like no other in our community. There is strength in remembering. August is a month to remember. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Murere. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Kalemi. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Rumbashi. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Kabera. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Minembwe. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Kinshasa. August is a month for us to remember those that died in Kimani. August is a month for us to remember that dies in Gatumba. And most importantly, August is a month for us to remember those that are still getting killed to this day. It is very disappointing, even more disrespectful to see that our people in our community continue to disregard this month. If we do not honor ourselves and those departed, we cannot expect others to do the same. There are 11 other months in the whole year for you to plan your event. Please do so. If we do not value ourselves, others won't either. Planning anything around this is blatantly disrespectful, insensitive to the survivors and the community as a whole. I rest my case. This year's memorial theme is to invite us to explore the meaning of justice and what that looks like for us survivors. The notion of justice seems bleak and unattainable after so much loss that we have experienced and continue to experience till today. Would justice bring back my loved ones? Would justice undo all the trauma? Would justice rebuild my home? Would justice give me back my childhood? Will justice heal all my wounds? Is justice taking one life in exchange for one that I lost? Justice is not a reset button or a time machine that can magically undo the past, but justice can be healing. Justice can be us telling our stories, the good and the bad. Justice can be us giving grace to our parents and elders who have had so much to go through, so much trauma in their lives, as Bijou so eloquently said. Justice can be giving ourselves grace and understanding that all the pain and trauma, not our story, it is not our portion in this life. It is not normal that we do not have to be okay with this story. Justice is taking care of one another. Justice is us living in the right relationship with God, people, and land. Justice is taking care of the widows and the orphans. Justice is going back to Mikirambi and sitting with our elders, canonizing their stories. Like Alex Muvambu once said, a story not told dies in someone's mind and the truth grows along with it, and evil flourishes when it's not pointed out. Justice is truth-telling. Justice is standing up for yourself and one another. Justice is holding people accountable. Tonight we want to focus on justice as accountability. For so long, Abanyamulenge people have been killed in heinous ways. In many instances, we do not even have the luxury to bury them. The point of this campaign is to hold Agotogwasa accountable. He needs to be convicted and arrested. By raising this money, we will pay the lawyers who will take this case to court. Having him convicted will send a message to the people that have been targeting us for the last 58 years. Abanyamulenge people die daily and no one ever has been held accountable. Does justice not apply to us? Why do human rights not apply to us? This will send a message that our lives are worth it, that we will continue to die in vain. We will not continue to die in vain. By convicting Agotogwasa, we will show that 166 people who were killed are loved, valued, and their death was not in vain. Convicting Agotogwasa is justice for my mom. Convicting Agotogwasa is justice for my dad. It is justice for your brother. It is justice for your sister. And it is justice for your unborn children. Children who deserve the right to be born in a world where Abanyamulenge feel safe, secured, and valued. Justice. We will always be our first line of defense. Thank you.
Yemwe muzaza mureka tworoherezanye ngiye gusobanura ibyo Kiyobe amaze kuvuga mu rurimi rwacu rw'ikinyamurenge. Ndifuza gufata uyu mwanya kugira nihanganisha imiryango yabuze abantu muri iriya joro, abantu 166, harimo abagore, harimo abagabo, harimo abana, harimo n'abasaza n'abakecuru. Nifuje gufata uyu mwanya kandi anshimira buri wese abavuye mu mastate atandukanye, mwakoze ku mwanya wanyu. Roba Grace utabashije kubana hano natwe n'abandi benshi badukurikiye, turabashimiye. Twongeye kwakira abacikacumu by'umwihariko, ngo murakaze. Nshimiye komite itegura iyi event babashije kuduha uyu munsi wa Friday night kugira ngo tubashe kugira icyo tubikoramo, tubashe no gutegura. Turabashimiye byimazeyo. Aba bakobwa muri kureba hano bahagaze kuri stage baritanze, bakoze amanama atagira uko angana kugira ngo uyu munsi ubashe kugenda uko wagenze. Turabashimiye by'umwihariko. Tunasaba n'abandi bantu cyane cyane nk'abasore abazifuza kugira icyo bakora next year, mwakwegera umwe muri aba ngaba kugira ngo abashe kubaha umurongo. Nk'uko twese tubizi, ukwezi kwa munani ni ukwezi kudasanzwe mu bwoko bw'Abanyamulenge. Muri uku kwibuka, mu kwibuka tuza twibuka cyangwa se tuza hano tujya hamwe, harimo imbaraga. Uku ni ukwezi kwa munani, ukwezi kwabereyemo amahano atavugwa, umuntu atabona nuko asobanura ku bwoko bw'Abanyamulenge. Ukwezi kwa munani ni ukwezi twibukamo abacu bishwe imurere. Uku ni ukwezi kwa munani twibukamo abacu bishwe Karemi. Muri uku kwezi kwa munani ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe Rubumbashi. Ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe Kabera. Ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe mu Minembwe. Ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe i Kinshasa. Ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe Kamina. Ni ukwezi twibukamo abantu bacu bishwe mu Gatumba. Ntago uyu munsi ari umunsi wo kwibuka abantu bamwe, no kwibuka abo bantu bose bacu b'Abanyamulenge bishwe urupfu rw'agashinyaguro kubera ko ari Abanyamulenge. Kuva muri 1964 habaye umugambi wo kwica ubwoko bw'Abanyamulenge. Muri uyu mwaka turimo turuzuza imyaka 58, twarabaye targeted y'ubwicanyi mu nzira nyinshi zitandukanye. Rero birababaje kandi biteye agahinda kandi biranasuzuguritse kubona abantu b'Abanyamulenge wuzuye w'umunyamurenge ukomeza kubwirwa ngo uku ni ukwezi ko kwibuka, uku ni ukwezi ko kwibuka, birababaje kandi biteye isoni. Nitutiha agaciro ntitukagategere mu bandi ko bazakaduha, ni twebwe tuziha agaciro mbere y'uko abandi bakaduha. Hari amezi 12 mu mwaka, hari amezi 11 wapangamo gahunda zawe ibyo ufite gupangamo. Muzajya muri karo, hari abantu benshi bicaye hano babacika cumu cyangwa se babaye aho hantu hagiye hicirwa abanyamurenge, batagiriwe amahirwe yo guhamba ababo, batagiriwe amahirwe yo kurenza hagataka umuntu wawe ngo uhebe. Uko niko umuntu azaheba. Uku kuza hano tukaza kwibuka ni uku guhamba kwacu, uku niko gusezera kwacu. Wowe uba ugenda ugapanga gahunda zawe, ako ni agasuzuguro ku bwoko, ariko cyane cyane nkubwiye ko uko kuba ari ukwishima, ari ugukina ku mubyimba abacika cumu. Mbivuze muri makeya ariko mubyumve cyane, biragayitse kandi biteye agahinda. Muzajya mupanga gahunda zituguharira ibihe byo kwibuka. Iyo ni point ya mbere nyivuyeho, irarangiye. Mvuze buke ariko ndizera ko mubyumvishije. Kwibuka k'uyu mwaka twakoresheje terimi ivuga ngo I am more than a conqueror. Igamije kutwereka cyangwa se kutwigisha ubusobanuro bw'ubutabera, ndetse nuko twebwe nk'abanyamurenge tureba ubutabera mu maso yacu. Ubutabera kuri bamwe muri twe bwamaze kuba nk'inzuzi umuntu arota akibagirwa, kubera impfu zagiye ziba ingaruka mwaka, ingaruka munsi, twarangiza ntitubone abantu babihanirwa, ubuzima bugakomeza nkaho nta cyabaye. Ese ubu butabera bavuga buzagarura abacu twabuze? Ese ubu butabera bavuga buzadukiza ububabare tugendana nabwo? Ese ubu butabera bavuga buzatwubakira amazu yacu basenye n'inka zacu banyaze ngo zigaruke? Ese ubu butabera bavuga buzatugarurira ubwana bwacu tutabashije kubona? Ese ubu butabera bavuga buzakiza ibisebe tugendana nabyo? Ese ubutabera ni ugutanga ubuzima bumwe ukabugurana n'ubundi? Ubutabera tuvuga buvuze iki ku buzima bw'umunyamurenge muri rusange? Tukongera tukavuga duti ubutabera ntago ari buto twakoraho ngo busubize ibihe inyuma, nimumara buhindure ibyabaye cyangwa se ibyatambutse. Ubutabera ni ugukira, tugakira ibisebe tugira mu mitima, nubwo butabera. Kuri twebwe abanyamurenge ubutabera ni ukwicara tukavuga amateka yacu, yaba ibibi cyangwa se ibyiza. Ubutabera ni ukwibuka ibyabaye ku babyeyi bacu. Ubutabera ku banyamurenge ni ukwibuka ibyo twebwe twaciyemo nk'abana za young generation. Ubutabera ntago ari ukurebana mugenzi wawe ngo mutungane intoki uvuge ngo birakureba, ngo njyewe ntago bindeba. Ntago ari ubwo butabera. Ubutabera ni uguhaguruka twese tugahagarara hamwe, tugakorana hamwe, ukaba imbaraga za mugenzi wawe, nanjye nkaba imbaraga zawe. Ubutabera ni ukwita ku bandi cyangwa se kwitanaho. Ubutabera ni ukuba mu busabane n'Imana. Ubutabera ni ukubana mu busabane n'abantu no kuba mu busabane mu gihugu. Ubutabera ni ugufasha imfubyi. Ubutabera ni ugufasha abapfakazi. Ubutabera ni ugusubira mu kirambi tukicara n'abasogokuruza bakaducira imigani, bakatubwira amateka y'umurenge. Ubutabera ni ukubwirwa ukuri kose, apana guca hirya. Bisubiremo, ubutabera ni ukubwirwa ukuri kose. Ubutabera ni ukutareka ngo urenganwe. Ubutabera ni uguhirwa ni uguhanwa mu gihe wakoze ikintu kibi. muri iri joro turifuza kuvuga ku butabera buhana ikibi cyakozwe cyangwa se ikibi cyakorewe umunyamurenge. Mu gihe kirekire abanyamurenge bishwe urw'agashinyaguro mu nzira zose zitandukanye. Mu magambo asobanutse, nta nubwo duhabwa ibyo maze kuvuga mu kanya, ntabwo duhabwa amahirwe yo guhamba abacu. Arishwe urw'agashinyaguro, ariko barateruye nk'aho ari inyamaswa bataye hariya, asigaye aribwa n'inyamaswa ku musozi. Ubutabera nuko natwe duhabwa ku gaciro ko guhamba abacu, tukabaha icyubahiro kibakwiriye. Intego y'iyi kampeni cyangwa se kunguko duhagaze hano nuko twifuza ko Agathon Rwasa ahanirwa amahano yakoze ku bwoko bw'abanyamurenge kandi byihanukiriwe. Agomba gufatwa agafunga. Ibyo mu kubikora tugomba nuko tuza hamwe tugatanga amafaranga. Ibyo ntago ari ibintu byakwikora gusa ukunguko ndi kubivuga, ni ibintu bisaba amafaranga. Ayo ni amafaranga azatuvamo kugira ngo habashe gushirwaho unshinga abacamanza bazaca urwo rubanza. Abo ngabo nabo bagomba kwishurwa, ntago nibyo n'ibindi ntibyoroshe. Gufatwa kwa Agathon Rwasa agacibwa urubanza bizatanga message kuri bariya bandi birirwa biruka inyuma y'abanyamurenge bakeneye kubamaraho. Bizatanga message kandi iremereye kugira ngo babashe natwe kuduha agaciro nk'abantu cyangwa se nk'ikiremwa muntu. Bizatanga message iremereye ku bandi batugendaho nk'ubwoko bw'abanyamurenge cyangwa se bagize iminsi batugendaho muri imyaka 58 navuze ishize batugendaho. Abanyamurenge bapfa uko bwije nuko bukeye, ariko ntawe bihanirwa. Ntawe urabihanirwa ngo bavuge ngo uyu muntu niwe dukwiye guhana kubera ntabwo bukora ku bwoko bw'abanyamurenge. Kubera iki? Uburenganzira bwa kimuntu. Ibi rero ibyo twifuza gukora cyangwa se kurezinga aya mafaranga bizadufasha kugira ngo dutange ubutumwa hanze, bibashe kongera kugarura agaciro k'umunyamurenge. Ntabwo ari byiza ko umuntu wese avogera umunyamurenge ngo kubera ko tudafite umuvugizi. Gutanga aya mafaranga cyangwa se kuza hamwe tugakoranya tugashyira hamwe aya mafaranga bizatuma ubifiteho uruhare, wagize uruhare ku bantu 166 ko bapfa afatwa agafungwa. Gucibwa urubanza kwa Agathon Rwasa kuzerekana ko abantu bacu 166 bishwe ririya joro ko nabo ubuzima bwabo bufite igisobanuro, bifite icyo bisobanura. Gufatwa kwiye kuzatanga ubutabera kuri mama wawe, kuri mama wanjye, kuri papa wawe, kuri papa wanjye, kuri musaza wawe, kuri mushiki wawe, cyane cyane no ku bana banyu bataravuka. Ni byiza ko umwana avukira mu gihugu akunzwe, ahantu yumva ko ari amahoro, ntacapfa kumukoraho. Murakoze. Ndagira ngo nakire Patrick. Mwagena.
As we've heard them speak, this campaign is to raise funds
iyi campaign niyo kugira ngo turebe icyo twakuramo
to allow this case of what happened in Gatumba
kugira ngo dukurikirane ibyabaye mu Gatumba
to be taken to court.
kugira ngo bijanwe muri court.
One thing that they left out
Ikintu kimwe basize
is how much all of this would cost.
ni amafaranga angana gute bizadutwara.
And so it would cost $60,000.
Biza
60.
bizadutwara ibihumbi 60.
And I know it sounds like a lot.
Ni amafaranga menshi.
But very quickly, I just want to show you guys how it's possible for us to raise that money ourselves and not having to ask, outsiders.
Ngiye kubereka ukuntu byoroshe nubwo twumva ari amafaranga menshi ukuntu twayivanamo twenyine tukanasaba n'abandi inshuti zacu.
So can I have everyone pull out their cell phones, please?
Reka mbasabe mwese mufata amatelefone yanyu.
And go to the calculator feature.
Tugiye gukarikira. Let me have my cell phone.
I have you guys taken out your phones
so
you can see the numbers for yourselves. Okay. And so let's say you as an individual were to give $20 a month for 1 year towards this campaign.
Amafaranga aja kuri iyi ntego tuba dufite.
And we will have a GoFundMe out for it.
Tuzaba dufite GoFundMe yabyo.
Okay, so 20, you type in 20.
Shiramo 20 muri
and that's how much you're giving a month.
Ayo ni uzoz wotanga ku kwezi.
So you're going to multiply that by 12 months.
Ukube inshuro 12.
Because there's 12 months in a year.
Kuko hari amezi 12 mu mwaka.
And you should get 240.
Amafaranga uzabona ni 240.
And you're probably thinking, well, what is 240 compared to 60,000?
Kandi urashobora kwibaza ntese idolari 240 ni zimaziki ku bihumbi 60 tuzaba dukeneye.
And so if we were to look around the room
turebye hano twenyine mu isale turimo
and just remembering all of the people that we've watched step out,
urebe n'abantu basohotse hano hanze,
I'd say that there is approximately 250 people.
Reka tuvuge ko ari abantu 250.
So multiply that amount, that 240,
ukube 240
by 250,
uyikube 250,
which is how many people are in this room.
250 ni abantu dutekereza ko baba bari muri ino sale.
You have that 60,000.
Ayo mafaranga ibihumbi 60 turabifite mu ntoki hano.
And so how do I say this? So what I wanted to say is that we are more than capable of helping ourselves.
Icyo nshaka kuvuga nuko turihagije twenyine kwifasha.
Justice isn't given, it's taken.
Ubutabera ntabwo buhabwa ari turabugwanira.
And so just showing you guys this, having you guys do it as well.
Ndashaka kubereka iki ngiki.
We're not able to do it without you.
Ntago twabikora tutabafite.
And you're not able to do it without us.
Kandi ntago mwabikora mutadufite.
In order for us to raise this money,
kugira ngo tubone aya mafaranga,
we're going to need everyone to participate.
Twifuza ko buri muntu wese ya participating.
And so very quickly, if I can speak to the youth.
Reka mvugishe abasore muri aka kanya.
So thinking about this $20 a month, it sounds like a lot, right?
Itekereza kuri aya mafaranga 20 ku kwezi ari nk'ahari amafaranga menshi.
But $20 is the same amount that you're spending on gym memberships a month.
Ariko idolari 20 nizo ukoresha muri gym buri kwezi.
Or when you're going out.
Cyangwa usohotse hanze n'abagenzi bawe.
And you go out more than once a month.
Kandi uzusohoka n'abagenzi bawe birenga rimwe ku kwezi.
Yeah. And so at the end of the year, right, we have this 240 you an individual are giving.
Umuntu ku giti cye cyangwa umuntu umwe kuba yotanga 240 ku mwaka.
And so 240 sounds like a lot too.
240 ni nk'ari amafaranga menshi.
But many of us have shoes that amount.
Ariko bamwe muri twebwe bambara ibirato by'amadolari 240.
So I guess what I'm trying to say, I mean, all of those are good things, you know.
ibyo nshaka kuvuga ibyo byose ni ibintu byiza.
But if we were to make this,
mureke dutuze please.
if we were to make this a priority,
niba tubona ko ibi bintu ari ibintu bifite agaciro